The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has condemned Israel's evacuation threats. In a statement, it says that the latest order covers about 5.6 square kilometers of Deir al-Balah, spanning 4 neighborhoods. Initial estimates indicate that between 50,000 and 80,000 people were in the area at the time the order was issued. This included some 30,000 people sheltering across 57 displacement sites. At least 1,000 families have fled the area since the threat was issued. Well, Gideon Levy is a columnist for the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, and he is joining us live from Tel Aviv. Great to have you with us, as always, Mr. Levy, and especially this morning because I see that you have written a very strong article for Haaretz, which is entitled, "It is clear Israel now has a plan for the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from Gaza." What evidence exists for you to suggest that there is a deliberate plan to forcibly remove Palestinians from Gaza?
Thank you, Elizabeth. I can only look at reality, and there is no other way to explain it except of following a very systematic plan. First, you evacuate the people from the northern part of Gaza, and you push them gradually to the south. Then you declare a concentration camp in the southern part of Gaza. Then comes the very systematic destruction. It's not bombing here a building and there a building. There is now a very systematic destruction project of whole towns and villages, one after the other. Israel is recruiting people, offering them a lot of money to join this effort of destruction Gaza systematically. So after you look at this reality, you understand one thing. A, Israel wants all Gaza to be on the southern part of Gaza. B, there will be no place for them to get back. And in those conditions, the only solution will be to transfer them to somewhere else. In the same time, the head of the Mossad went last week to Washington, and among other issues, he was discussing 3 states that Israel claims which are ready already to absorb some of the expelled Palestinians from Gaza. So it's becoming not only a plan, but a plan which might be implemented. And we shouldn't remain indifferent to this.
Mr. Levy, the head of the Mossad, David Barnea, his father was 3 years old when he fled Nazi Germany with his parents. David Barnea was 3 years old when he fled Nazi Germany with his parents. You have been telling us since Israel first introduced this plan to create what many, including UN officials, are calling a concentration camp in Rafah. You have been telling us about the personal family histories of the people involved in this plan and how they are the children of Holocaust survivors. How do you see that we have the children of Holocaust survivors being actively involved in such plans?
This shows how deep is the Israeli denial and how little is the self-consciousness. Israel does not see itself at all. Israeli media helps Israel not to see itself, and Israel is doing things which the Germans did, yes, the Germans in the early years of the Third Reich, which Israelis don't see any similarity. How can you compare? Concentration camp, but how else can you call it? Ethnic cleansing, but how else can you call it? So we live in this denial, very happy about ourselves, giving ourselves all kind of unbelievable explanations and legitimizations that we are fighting Hamas, that it is self-defense, killing 27,000 children is self-defense, total destruction of Gaza is self-defense, and at the same time, nobody even looked backwards for a moment, even to his own family experience, and ask yourself, isn't it the same? Didn't it start the same? I must remind all of us that the extermination of the Jews in the Holocaust started with evacuating people to the east. Same plan. By the way, the Armenian Holocaust started also by evacuation. That's the first stage. We should stop it here. But Israel doesn't see its own back and its own image. I mean, we don't look at the mirror. And therefore, people like Barnea from the Mossad and Minister of Defense Katz can suggest all kinds of crazy ideas, which are a copy of Nazi ideas, and don't see the connection.
And certainly no one really seems to be holding up that mirror to Israel in a meaningful way that would see them sanctioned for even suggesting such plans. This has come up in front of the UN Security Council just days ago, but there was no resolutions to come out of that. In the meantime, you've spoken about how Israel, including the Prime Minister, they've talked about talking to other countries to take Palestinians from Gaza. But do you think that there are really any countries in the region that would do that, given the implications under international law?
I was hoping that not. But you know, money can buy everything, and American money can buy even more. And the three countries which were mentioned until now, Libya, for example, is it a state at all? Maybe money can buy it. I will wonder if Indonesia, which is the second country, can be a candidate, But who knows? I don't exclude anymore anything, because you can cover up everything with all kinds of legitimization. We'll call it a rescue project. We'll call it asylum. We'll call them asylum seekers. We'll say it's just temporary until Gaza will be rebuilt. All those explanations will be given, and then it will be easier to swallow it. And with a lot of American pressure and maybe budget, it might come true.
That is Gideon Levy joining us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.